Right, we've got, I've been and made the two M10 shoulder bolts. As you can see with that one, that's what happens when you start to thread the wrong part. I'm going to call them oil grooves. So that's the two M8s that I did before, M8 threads, and these are identical apart from the thread, so these are now M10, and all that these need doing is putting in a collet holder and a hexagon milling on that end, and then I may put them back in the lathe because I've only filed the ends flat because there was a pip stuck in the middle, and I may just tidy them up on the lathe, so that'll be that done. So this is me setup that's going to be on the plate. So obviously, where's the holes? So that one will be bolted to the bottom plate and that one bolted to the top. So excuse my drawings, boys, it's never very good at the best times. So this one's gonna, I've already reamed that M8, but it wants to be 12mm. So I have got a 12mm reamer, so I'm going to drill that out and ream that, so that'll take care of that side. And then this side, so put them together like that. So the shoulder bolt's going to mount on there, and you can see it's just a tad shorter than the width of the blocks. So when this one's drilled M12, reamed M12, we're going to bore in, what did I get there, 8.5mm this way, there. I should have had a marker pen in here, shouldn't I? So it's showing up a bit better. So that'll be bored from the edge to there, 12mm diameter, 8.5mm deep, and then the other side of this will push through with a drill for tapping drill for M10, and then we'll run a thread through there, tap through it. So then that should just about do the hinges, I think. I've had a look for my, what was I looking for and I can't find it. Oh, the pin to go in the middle of my rotary table. I haven't had a really good look, so that's the next thing to look for. Because once we've got these done, we can start to put this radius on them, can't we? And then we'll be able to see how much swing we've got on the angle plate. So the next thing will be to go on back onto the milling machine, or shall I do them in the lathe? I'll think about that. I could do those. I'm just thinking because I've got to bore in there 12mm diameter, 8.5mm deep, and it's not always easy getting a nice flat bottom with a boring head. Well, you can do it better on the lathe, can't you? I'll have to think about that. Right, we'll take that into the workshop with us, and that'll do that. And now we've got this come today from, I'll just cover his address up, Bob Dixon. So let's have a look, see what he's sent this time, shall we? He always instructs me to open them on camera, so that's what I'm going to try and do, if I can do it without stabbing myself. Bob does do a good job of taping them off, I must admit. Now, obviously I keep in contact with Bob via email, and I have got his phone number, and I've had one or two really lovely chats with Bob. On the email he sent me, basically to tell me that he put another little present in for me in the workshop, which I'm exceptionally grateful for. And he's asked me to mention, which I would have done without a second thought, as long as it was okay with Bob, that if anybody is interested in wanting their dial indicators servicing, repairing, oh, that's not a dial indicator, is it? That's a sign. Oh, that's lovely. God, what's that? What length is that? That's about 5 or 6 inches, isn't it? Or is it metric? Oh, that's either a 5-inch or, yeah, it'd be 5-inch, won't it? Wow, Bob, that's lovely. Good, he's even oiled it, stop it rusting in the post. I've got 3 sine bars, but I haven't got one quite like that. That's gorgeous, mate. Thank you very much. I'll get a shot of that. I'll get a bit closer. You're fast becoming my channel sponsor. Do you know that, Mr. Dixon? Yeah, as I was saying, the dial indicators, if you've got some and you want them repairing, and you'll just have to believe me when I say this. I'm not going to say this just because Bob sent me some things in the post. He's done a few for me in the past, and every one, bar none, has come back absolutely spot on. He spends absolutely bloody hours on them, and you can tell when they come back. And I've had a few conversations with him about dial indicators in the past, and he's really honest with you. If you've got, you know, like the cheap Chinese dial indicators you can pick up for, I don't know, £6 to £10 range, Bob calls them the AK-47 of the dial indicator. And you can fill them full of shit, stamp on them, drop them, do what you like with them, and they keep going. If you've got any of them that are not working properly, I'll tell you now on Bob's behalf. He'll just tell you to chuck them in the bin and go and buy a new one of them. However, if you've got some of the older ones, the Batties, the Mitutoyas, you know, the good quality ones, they're the sort of thing that Bob he'll do a wonderful job on them for you. Trust me, he's done some of mine and they're brilliant. This red rubbery stuff, I wondered what it was that he'd sent me in the last bit, but if you remember back a few videos ago, I was making that little clamp for my pipe freezing machine. You know, as a bit of a get out of jail thing in case I got myself in the shit when I was by myself. And this is a really nice, flexible, rubbery type stuff to make a plug. You'd have to go back and watch the video to understand what I mean, but that was what he sent me for. And that's just, it's not as soft as rubber, but it's not nearly as pliable. That'll do to make some plugs for that. Right, let's just, springs, Woodruff keys. What else is in there? Little brass, lots and lots of little. These are the things that come in really handy, don't you, when you least expect you need them, and pop. Yeah, they'll go in the, I've got a cabinet in the shed with all my bits and bobs like that in. Nice quality shoulder bolts, look. Yeah, I've just made them. Well, and they look to me to be about M8, and they are. So, well, here we go. RM 150, 16 by 1.5, 16 mil on here. Oh, there's a load of O-rings in there as well. Oh, it just gets better. Oh, balls. No pun intended, boys. It's nice to have some spare balls about the place, they're always handy. Right, what have we got in here? Well, this is the, I know you'll be watching this, Bob, this is the same hand towel stuff I use. It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Really good stuff. So does he put this in his packaging, or does he put something in them? He put them in for me as hand towels. They're really good. At my local builders merchants, they had 10 rolls of these on the shelf, and they'd had them there for months and months because nobody would buy them, because they was a lot more expensive than just buying your normal paper towels. And they decided to get rid of them. I bought the whole lot for £1 a roll, and I'm still using them now. They're really good there. That's just packaging. Yep, right. What have we got in here? Feels a bit dial indicatory to me, that does. That's Mercer 0.1 mil. That is a really handy dial indicator because it's even got the thing on the back. I know he's had all these to pieces. I know he's cleaned them all out. I can tell by how clear and shiny the bezel is on the front, and there's no way he would just take the bezel off to clean that. I can tell by, obviously you can't feel what I can feel, but returns to zero, smack on every time. He does do a really good job. I know I keep saying it. I ought to be a sales rep for him actually, you know. But if you wanted, I've got myself a bit waylaid there, didn't I? What I was going to say was, if you've any dial indicators and you would like Bob to have a look at them, what he said to me is, if you wanted to send me an email, I can email you. Oh, Bobby, you little darling. Oh. Oh my good God. That's even got that thing on it, look. And for those of you that don't know, you can set that up, yeah, that way on, and you can push that inside a bore, a spinning bore. Oh, Bobby, mate, you're a star, you are, boy. Right, before I open the other one, I will get my words out. If you've got any dial indicators like this and you'd like Bob to have a look at them, please, by all means, send me an email. If you go to the end, the credits at the end of my video, the last line at the bottom is, I always put my email address there. I have been doing for quite a while now, in case anybody wanted to get in touch with me without going through the comment section of YouTube. So my email address is there. If you wanted to get in touch with Bob, if you send me an email, I'll get you in touch with him, and then he'd be more than welcome to have a look at your dial indicators for you and get you sorted. That's spot on, that is. And with that attachment on it as well, that is just so handy. That's a matching pair, look. I think Santa may as well not bother coming to my house this year, because it looks like I've had all my Christmas presents early. I don't need anything else. Dowel pins. Now that is another little handy pack, innit? What are they? Oh, hang on. That's hollow. Ah, if you watch this, Bob, you maybe have to let me know what they are. They've got threads inside them. Hang on, what's that for then? I don't know whether you can see there, but they're threaded in the end. Can't see any matter, the smaller ones like that. Yeah, they are. Ah, so are these extensions for these perhaps? No, they can't be, they need to be male. Oh, you'll have to, well, you won't have to let me know, Bob, I'll ring you. Find out what they are, because, yeah, they're all threaded. So are they some sort of a stylus to go on dial indicators or something or other? The small one's threaded. No. I'm sure he'll tell me what they are. But they're threaded, look. Threaded. Ah, you're a little diamond, Bobby. I don't know what to say, mate. That's a lovely little haul, that, isn't it? And it's good that it's all really handy, usable stuff as well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit gobsmacked again, mate. Keep doing this to me, don't you? Right, well, I'm going to put these away in the cupboard for the time being, and we'll go and get on the milling machine and get these two blocks sorted. God, that's lovely, that is. That's as smooth as a smooth thing. So yeah, we'll go and get on the milling machine, and like I say, if you've any dial indicators that if they're really old ones, don't worry if the crystal's missing, because he actually makes the crystals for the ones that have obviously lost them or they're cracked and broken. If you were to go and look on Double Boost and go into his video archive or whatever you call it, and scroll back through, or well, John may have them listed as a playlist or something, I don't know, but you'll see on there dial indicator repair videos and stuff, and Bob shows you himself taking all these apart. Like the reason I sent them to him was because you got plates of meat like me, there's not much point in delving inside them little things. I mean, just to show you ideas the size of them, look, I mean, it's about the same size screen as my dial calipers. So yeah, give him a shout, or give me a shout, and I'll put you in touch with him. But, cheers, Bob. I don't know what to say, mate, apart from thank you so much, mate, and I'll speak to you very shortly. Right, on to the lathe. Right, this is my setup for putting the radius on these. I've got the table set at 0, and I've clocked that piece of bar in. Well, actually, I clocked the front of that in. So I'll set that on there. That on there. That stud that goes through there. I've already done one, just to make sure that everything would hold tight and it would work, so then it appeared to. Hang on. Just push it up to that parallel, nip it up. Right, can I get that? I've got the camera slightly in the wrong way, so I'm just bringing that down so it touches, lifting it up a tad, locking that off. Right, what have I got in there? I've got an 8mm carbide M mill. We're running at 1500 ripams. So I'll put a bit of a cut on. Got to get at this end. Wrong way. Right, can we bring you boys in a bit? That's you see that? Right, here we go. So I'm taking a millimetre cut each time, or about, well, not about, it's like 40 thou. God, it is a heavy rotary table, this. Really, really solid. And squeaky by the sound of it, didn't do that before. How much of that can you guys see? Let me, I'm just going to see if I can do something else with this camera. Try that. I've just turned up the ISO a little bit because it looked a bit dark. having to reach around the camera each time to get at the handle. I think it was worth just making up that a little jig to do these. So there's a few of them to do. Coming around to 270 on the rotary table that way, and back all the way around to 90 the other way. As you can see there, we're fairly tangent now, but it still leaves a tiny little bit at the top. In here, you'll see it in a minute. Oh no, it won't this time, so I'm near enough at my measurement. But what it's meaning is I'm slightly catching the sides. But, you know, I'm not bothered. They'll all look the same, so. Right, so there we're at 90. I'll bring it round to my final cut, which is there. I thought I would use a carbide end mill for this, then I'll not have to really bother with any coolant. So I'll not get everything all lathered in oil and coolant everywhere. Right, so we'll come back round to 270, which is that. Right, I'll just bring you boys back out a bit, I think. What I did with that, I put a slight recess in there so it holds that bit in place. Blow that off and have a quick look. Clean that off, ready for the next one. yeah, it's not a bad finish. You see what I mean by it's coming round and it's just catching the side. It's not tangent to the side, but I'm not bothered. Like I say, they'll all look the same. So we'll get the next one on. Like so. So what I'll do, I'll get the rest of these machined up, and then we'll have a bit of a mock-up, see what she looks like when we get her all put together with the radius hinges on. I've got I may have to use it as it is at the moment because I need to get them wood chipper blades done this afternoon, so I'll get the rest of these done. I'll bring you back and then we'll maybe have to quickly get some holes drilled in that hold the two cutters on, and we'll get them sharpened up. So there she be, boys. I'll just slacken these off a little bit. So where I've got to is I see all the hinges in there all done. Everything works just how I wanted it to. So the two shoulder bolts are done. I've got all the radiuses cut. I know what happened now when I cut these radiuses. If you remember, when I was marking out to drill the hole for the hinges, instead of, because these were 35mm tall, and instead of going to the dead centre of that, I brought it up by 1/2 mil, didn't I? To make sure that when I turned it, you can see in there that we've got clearance under the end of the radius. But unfortunately for me, because I brought it up 1/2 mil, I didn't take that into account when I set the mill on the rotary table to cut the radius. But anyway, they all look the same, so they've all got the same mark on, so yeah, I'm not bothered about that. So now what we've got to do is get this top plate, get all these holes drilled. Now, just let me, I'll tell you what as well, when you lock it, I mean that's only one, there's no movement in it whatsoever. So I'm thinking that when that's on there, on that middle row, that's going to be plenty. So, what I've got, if you can see here, look, I've got 3 rows of holes marked out. These ones come in, what were they? They're 15mm in from this front edge, and then the next row is another 15, and so on to the third row. And they're all 20mm apart. That's going to give me 56 holes. Just in that bit, but it's too much. I'll be drilling for bloody ever. So what I've decided to do is, see that side, is on this side we're still 15mm in, but the holes are going to be 25mm apart. So when we get this on the milling machine, we'll centre from both ends. Obviously we'll edge find the ends, find the centre, and then we'll work out from this front edge, and then we'll work and drill all the holes in there. Now they've dropped me some other wood chipper blades off. Now these are little tiny ones. Apparently these belong to one of the lads who works for them. He has a chipper himself and he does a bit of work. But you see, when I put that there, look, that will match perfectly well on this top row. So we'll be alright. So, next step for me, I think, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the square in here. I've stoned this square off to make sure we're all alright. I'm going to just set this at 90. Check it at that end. Yeah, spot on. So what I would like to do, because we've put a bit of effort into this. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. When this is on the mill and I centre find off these front edges to drill all these holes, I want to get them as accurate as I can. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit this on the surface grinder as it is, and I'm just going to flash the top of this off, so I know it's perfectly in line, or as good as I can get it anyway with my gear, to the bottom plate. At least then when I edge find off here and mark out for the holes, I know the holes are all going to be the same distance down. To me, that's more important for when you're setting stuff up on here, as to whether they're accurate in the, should we say, in the X travel. It's more important they're right in the Y. So that's my next plan. So we'll get this on the surface grinder, and I'll be interested to see how much we have to go before we clean this up from end to end. Right, we'll get it on the surface grinder and have a go anyway.